Hi, Stuart Williams here. People often ask me why my demos seem to go pretty well, and I thought about it, and thanks to mentoring and taking Toastmasters and a lot of public speaking, I've kind of put together a formula for how I do presentations and demos. And so in this short video, I'm going to try to impart the methodology I use, and it's not the only one possible, by the way, but it works for me, in the hopes that it'll help you give better demos. Before the demo, have a script. Don't think that you can extemporaneously work your way through a demo and have it be coherent, or indeed any presentation. Write out the points you want to make and break them into an outline in sections. And for each section, allocate amount of time that you want to spend on it that's in proportion to the value that that section gives to the people who are watching the demo. So I explicitly put timings on my demo scripts, and then what I try to do is I use a second monitor, but you can print them out if that's what helps you, in really large letters. In other words, you should be able to just glance at your script and have it remind you. A word of caution, don't read the script. The script is a general large picture outline and a set of timings. Here's an example that helps you just keep on track and bullets out the points that you want to make so that you make sure that you cover all that you want to cover, but you do it in the time that's allocated. So here's a 15-minute demo. Actually, it's a 20-minute demo because I'm allowing 5 minutes for Q&A. And you can see this is the level of granularity that I typically script out a demo at. Right? So I have little reminders. Remember, no one in the audience is going to see this. This is going to be off to one side, and it's just there to make sure that you cover the points you want to take. So this is my format. I am getting older, so I like the nice big font. Typically, if I have a demo that covers a script that covers more than one page, I'll actually go through and tape the pages together and lay them out somewhere. Or if I've got a second screen, I'll do them as a PowerPoint, and I'll shuffle through my script PowerPoint while I'm going through my main demo. Kid you not, it actually works. Think of it like professionals on TV or the movies do it. They have a teleprompter. Well, that's my teleprompter. Prepare your desktop. Can't emphasize this enough. I use a program called Fences, and that allows me to totally clear all the icons off my desktop. I have a neutral wallpaper that I prefer to use. A solid color is also really good. And then I turn off every single thing I'm not going to need during the demo. That includes all the background apps that could steal cycles and all the foreground apps like email and other things that could pop up embarrassing stuff in the middle of your demo. And then I put shortcuts to the demo sections on the desktop. So, for example, for the little script I showed you, I'd have an icon to my PowerPoint, and I'd have an icon to the app that I'm going to demo so that I could start each one of them if I accidentally close one of the windows. And generally, before I start presenting, I have both of them up. So the PowerPoint will be in presentation mode, full screen. I'll escape out of it and close it. And what will be left is the app I'm demoing full screen, and I can get right into the demo. Other useful tips. So we talked about full screen. That's really super great. Know how to zoom. One thing that's really frustrating to people watching demos, and I'm sure you've experienced this yourself, is itty bitty tiny fonts. So remember that if you're demoing something in a browser, that Control plus or minus zooms are in and out. And if you're in Visual Studio, you can use Control and mouse wheel. Or if you want to have your zooming done consistently across your entire desktop, Zoom It or some other zoom software works great. And in fact, there's a built-in magnification tool in Windows under the accessibility. You can use that. Professionals zoom and then talk. So they'll be introducing the topic. Let me show you the critical section of code that does this piece of business logic. And while they're talking about that, they're zooming. And then they say, okay, see this highlighted section, and they use highlighting tools or whatever in the magnifier to show them, and then they know what the magic key is to bounce it back to the full screen mode. remember that if you're in Visual Studio and you need to jump around, bookmarks are your friend, because you can jump to the first bookmark, talk about what you're going to talk about, hit the next bookmark key, jump to that piece of code, and so on and so forth. And so by setting bookmarks throughout your code, which I think is a underused feature of Visual Studio, it's great for walking people through some code. So if you're doing a code review, or you're showing people, doing some handoff things and showing people how the system works, that's really great. And practice getting fluid at zooming. While you're practicing your script, practice the zooming too. And then, super annoying, when people are moving windows all around the screen, it's really distracting. And if your demo is being recorded, all that shows up on the video is a blur. So put windows where you want them, preferably full screen in the upper left-hand corner of the, or anchored to the upper left-hand corner of the screen. For example, when I'm demoing how the website would look on mobile mode, and I'm using Chrome to do that, there's some speed keys that allow me to quickly show how big it would look in mobile mode, but I anchor the window to the upper left-hand corner, and then I walk through the different form factors, mobile, tablet, medium screen, big screen, but the upper left-hand corner of my demo never moves. And that's great for recording, but it's also great for people watching. Every human being on the planet is hardwired neurologically to start looking in the upper left-hand corner. So if you put the most important thing, which is the corner of the window in the upper left-hand corner, you'll make everyone's life a lot easier. Speaking tips. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. And time, how long it takes you to do each section. I'm a professional public speaker. I do a lot of public speaking, but I run through every presentation at least 3 times, if not more. And I carefully time how long it takes to do each section. I got a little app on my phone that I use for timing myself. My scripts, again, have how much time I should be taking. I can compare those two things. I like absolute time as script timings in my things, but other people like to have progressive time. In other words, I should be at 4 minutes, 50 seconds when I start talking about this topic. When I finish talking about the topic, I should be at 10 minutes and 15 seconds. You can do that if you want, but practice, practice, practice. What makes professional speakers or practice speakers is training. And again, Toastmasters is great for this. And just doing a lot of public speaking and having good habits, which are some of the things we're trying to teach you in this video. Speaking tips. Be professional. And that also includes don't extemporize, don't go off script, except during Q&A when people are throwing questions at you left and right. By the way, it's perfectly okay in the Q&A section to say, you know, I don't know that, but I'll find out and get back to you. Perfectly good answer. Very credible. Helps diffuse the nagging sensation that the audience always has about speakers, that they're either idiots or know-it-alls. If you can find an opportunity to say that you genuinely don't know something and you follow up by helping people understand it, you've done a really good thing. One of the things that drives people crazy is that Ferris Bueller moment where someone's lecturing in a monotone and clearly reading the script, the slides, whatever, every line of code, you know, they actually say the semicolons if they're, you know, so if x equals 27 and then the open brace, don't say that, right? Say what the heck the code is supposed to be doing. Here's a section of logic that's a key section because it computes the interest accrual for blah, 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 blah. Talk about that, let the code speak for itself. If the code doesn't speak for itself, that's a whole different lecture, but it should. Pause before switching topics. Let people's brains catch up. And then there's an old saying about public speaking, which is, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them you told them. That reinforces the key takeaway points you want to make. You never want to end a section by summarizing every single thing. Ideally, if you could leave them with 1, maybe 2 takeaway points, that would be really great. And if you're demoing a piece of software that your team is delivering to the business, the key takeaway point should be, look, see, we delivered it, it works. The number one rookie mistake we see people make is if something blows up. Software does that, right? The demo demons materialize and things don't go well. The show must go on. Don't apologize. Don't dwell. Move on. Go, okay, let me show you the next thing. Or, that's not working right now. We may have time to come back to it later, or whatever. Don't dwell. Don't apologize. Don't make excuses. Move on. Everybody's demo blows up. Do the following simple things. The big 8. Clear your demo area, set your desktop up for the demo, script your demo, practice your demo, stay on topic, drive to the end, give them some takeaway points to remember, and don't be funny or veer off topic if you can help it. And most of all, don't panic.